Welcome back to AnimeCons TV, where your source for reports and discussions on anime conventions as well as other fan conventions. My name is Doug Wilder. Every month, AnimeCons TV dedicates one episode to responding to your questions, comments, and just any other feedback that you like to send us. So let's get started. First off, we have an email from James who writes, Dear AnimeCons TV, hello to you all, and I would like to say that I really like Doug's video on panel rejection. I found it very insightful and interesting. I haven't hosted a panel at a convention yet, but I just might someday, as there are many interesting topics to choose from. I also liked it when Doug did that Star Wars connection to the samurai concept that he mentioned in the episode. Lately, I've been thinking about podcasting myself, as you guys have. It is cool for you guys to do your video reports to us fans weekly, as you guys have been doing this for a long time now, and I may try to do that someday as well. Please keep making these videos for years to come. Before I end, I have two questions. When someone sends you guys an email, is that email read by everyone in the podcast or just by Patrick or whoever is hosting that particular feedback episode? Two, what are the two biggest dealers' rooms and artist alleys that you guys have been to, not including Anime Expo? Till next time, this is your loyal friend and follower of Japanese anime and culture, James, aka the Dark Keeper. Well, James, I'm glad you liked the episode on panel rejection. That was kind of an interesting topic, and of course, I'm going to find a way to make two things I love, Star Wars and anime, kind of blend together. As far as the podcasting aspect, we are getting very close to kind of a milestone episode. Unfortunately, we won't be doing anything special, but we're about to hit 250 episodes, and we've just really enjoyed it. We like hearing from you guys. We're glad that you're enjoying it. Keep suggestions coming. That way we can keep making more episodes. To answer your first question about who reads the emails you guys send, generally it's whoever's hosting the feedback episode for that month. Though if you have a specific question for one of us because of a previous episode, be sure to mention that in your email. Just say the name of whoever's presenting, and if the presenter doesn't know, they'll get in touch. We all talk to each other. We're all friends. We can find out that information. So if you have a specific question for one of us, don't hesitate to ask. As far as the two biggest dealers' rooms and artist alleys I've been to, not including Anime Expo, definitely I think the next one would probably be Otakon. That convention still is massive, and it's this summer will be my 17th year going to Otakon, and of course now they're moving to DC. But they've always had a large space for a dealer's room, and it's very interesting to see how it's evolved. You've seen some vendors and exhibitors become really big and then shrink. Some of them have been big and just vanished. And some others just stay small. But in terms of physical space, it's probably one of the largest ones out there. Artist Alley is the same way. It's a very good one, but I really enjoyed Artist Alley at Otakon because it's well laid out. Like, it's easy to kind of go through and see everything. Some Artist Alley you go to, they don't really think about traffic flow, and so you don't really get to go to everywhere. But I think Otakon does a very good job of that. Vice versa, I would also say probably after that, if we're talking just size, either Dragon Con, because that takes over, like, it's the size of several dealers' rooms, and you could easily spend a day just wandering that. There's so much there. Its artist alley is a little smaller, but the dealer's room's that big. The other one that I would add, and unfortunately I wouldn't say I recommend, just out of personal preference, would be New York Comic Con, which also had New York Anime Fest as kind of a precursor. That thing is just massive because, like the Comic Con's motto of an event, the focus is the show floor. That's where everyone wants to go. So that, of course, is just a massive one. But thank you for the email. And once again, if you have a specific question for any of the members of our podcast team, please don't hesitate to address it directly to one of us when you're writing it to our general email. And we'll make sure that we ask the person, whoever, regardless of who's presenting for that month. Next on YouTube, Miss Malicious replied to our recording for the PortCon Maine 2015 Masquerade, saying, "If this is how I'm going to be remembered, I don't want to be remembered. I'm Lady Death." I can't remember that extent, but if you're remembered for the Masquerade that year, I mean, it's a couple years old. The thing I say, unfortunately, is what happens on the internet usually stays on the internet, unfortunately, forever. If you're kind of concerned about how you're viewed as a masquerade or something, maybe take this as a challenge to yourself to make a new costume and do something better, so you have a little more spectacular thing, and go from there. And on our Gallifrey 1 report, Maxwell Balmain, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, says, "I couldn't agree more about the new filming policy. There are stories in those panels that will be lost forever and ever and need documenting. It is a shame that they have no video recording in any room. It's for a con that sells out literally in minutes when tickets go live. It seems kind of like a counterintuitive policy, because it's not like you're stealing money away from people. They're filling out their attendance. This is just kind of hurting other people's chances to see these things. So I'm not sure why they have this policy in effect, and I'm pretty sure Patrick doesn't either, but it does seem like something they could easily fix, and it just seems a little unnecessary, especially for just panels. Some of the other stuff maybe, but for panels it just seems like a bad idea. On our January feedback episode, Shiggity Shig says, "Woot! Thanks for reading my novel of a comment. Oh, and I forgot about BronyCon. Thanks for the correction." And Sky Hedgehog also replied to that episode. "This will be the fourth time I go to Anime Mini. We'll let you know how things go." Sky Hedgehog, absolutely let us know how things go. I mean, we like hearing about conventions, especially since we can't get to everything. One, it'd be nice to have the money to do and time to go to every single con, but it's not possible. So if you have kind of even your own con report or something, send it along to us. We'd love to hear what you guys think. Now let's take a look at all the conventions that are coming up through April 2017 as found on fancons.com. Coming up on AnimeCons TV, next week Elizabeth shares tips on driving to a convention. You know, if you load all your friends in the car. And the week after that, it's going to be our 250th episode, and I'll actually be talking about a convention I haven't been to for a couple years, my return to Katsucon. We're a bit light on feedback this month, so we want to hear from you before our April feedback. Leave us a voicemail. If you need that number again, it's 762-ADEQUATE. That's 762-233-7828. You can also text us at that number. Text us messages, photos you took at a convention. Maybe you saw a cool cosplayer that you're at the con. Maybe you're working on a cool cosplay project. We want to see it all and feature it all in the podcast. Make sure you say who you are, and so we know to credit you. Of course, there's always good old-fashioned email, which is just podcast@animecons.tv. You can help us get the word out and tell a friend about AnimeCons TV. Share links to the episodes on Facebook or Twitter. Subscribe and get to new episodes every Monday. You can do that on iTunes at itunes.animecons.tv. Search AnimeCons TV on YouTube. You can also just watch us on our site, animecons.tv. You can also find us on Twitter and Facebook. We'll see you next time. Do you have an Amazon Echo or an Echo Dot? You can use it to get the latest list of conventions for the next week. Go into the Alexa app and look under Skills for fancons.com or animecons.com and enable the skill you want.